It was raining the morning Emily pressed her worn-out black blazer, the same one she had worn to every interview since graduating college, back when she still believed the world would be kind to dreamers like her. She buttoned it carefully with trembling hands, balancing the task with one arm while holding her 4-year-old son Noah on her hip, his sleepy head resting against her shoulder, the weight of him both a burden and a reminder of why she had to keep trying, why failure was not an option. She whispered softly, "Today's the day, sweetheart, Mommy's going to get this job," though she wasn't sure if she believed it herself, but she had learned long ago that hope was something you carried even when it felt heavy, something you spoke aloud even when your voice shook. By the time she reached the towering glass building downtown, Noah's tiny sneakers splashed in the puddles beside her, and she rehearsed her answers in her head. Strengths, weaknesses, why she wanted this role, but none of those words mattered compared to the truth, that she just wanted a chance to prove she was more than her struggles, more than the single mom people judged at first glance. The receptionist's eyes flicked down at Noah immediately, the same look Emily had come to know too well, disapproval disguised as politeness, pity wrapped in annoyance. "You can't bring a child into the interview," the woman said crisply, her voice cutting like glass, as if the mere presence of a child tainted the professional air of the office, as if ambition and motherhood could not coexist. Emily's cheeks burned, her throat tightened, but she tried to explain, "The sitter cancelled last minute, I couldn't, please, I just need 5 minutes with the hiring manager," yet the receptionist shook her head firmly, repeating words Emily had heard in countless variations: "Not appropriate, not professional, not possible." Noah tugged at her sleeve, sensing her distress, whispering, "Mommy, we can go home," and for a moment Emily thought about turning back, about walking away like she had so many times before, swallowing her dignity for the sake of keeping her son shielded from rejection, but something inside her broke, or maybe it lit up, because she dropped to her knees, held Noah's small hands, and whispered, "No, baby, we're not leaving, not this time. Mommy has to be brave." She rose again, her heart pounding, ready to plead one last time, when the elevator doors at the far end of the lobby opened and a man in a tailored suit stepped out, his presence commanding without effort, the kind of man who looked as though the world bent around him rather than the other way around. He carried no umbrella despite the storm outside, his silver cufflinks glinting under the lights, and everyone seemed to straighten as he passed, even the receptionist. Emily didn't recognize him at first, but the receptionist did, her voice dropping to a reverent tone, "Good morning, Mr. Harrison." It hit Emily like a jolt. Alexander Harrison, the elusive CEO whose name was etched on the building, the self-made millionaire known in the news for his bold deals and cold decisions, the kind of man who seemed galaxies away from a woman like her. Yet his gaze, sharp and observant, fell directly on her, lingering not on her worn blazer or messy hair damp from rain, but on Noah, who clutched her hand with both of his. "Is there a problem here?" he asked, his tone calm but edged with authority that made the receptionist stammer. She brought a child to an interview," the receptionist explained quickly, almost defensively, as though she were protecting the sanctity of the office. The lobby fell silent, employees watching from behind their screens, and Emily felt her knees weaken under the weight of humiliation. She opened her mouth to apologize, to explain, but before she could, Mr. Harrison spoke again, his voice softer this time, almost curious, "And why is that a problem?" The receptionist blinked, unsure how to respond, but Emily found herself blurting out, her voice raw, "Because people don't think mothers can be professional, sir, but I didn't have a choice. I just need a chance." Her words hung in the air, vulnerable and bare, and for a heartbeat she feared they would be dismissed like always. But something shifted in Harrison's expression, his jaw tightened, his eyes softened, and he stepped closer, lowering himself just slightly to look Noah in the eye. "What's your name, young man?" he asked gently. Noah, shy but trusting, whispered, "Noah." A faint smile touched the CEO's lips, the kind that seemed almost out of place on a man so often portrayed as ruthless. "Well, Noah, I think your mom is braver than most people I know," he said, and then, straightening, he looked at the receptionist and added firmly, "Cancel my meetings for the next hour. I'll conduct the interview myself." Gasps rippled through the lobby. Emily froze, hardly believing what she heard, her heart thundering as she followed him into the elevator, Noah clutching her hand like an anchor. The office they entered was sleek and vast, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, but Harrison gestured not to the imposing desk but to a small round table by the window. "Let's sit here," he said, pulling out a chair for her, an act so unexpectedly kind it nearly undid her composure. During the interview, Emily stumbled at first, her nerves frayed, but as she spoke about her skills, her experiences, the resilience that motherhood had carved into her, something remarkable happened. She found her voice, steady and strong, fueled by the urgency of her truth. Noah sat quietly beside her, drawing on a notepad Harrison had given him, the child's presence a reminder that Emily's strength was not despite him but because of him. When she finished, Harrison leaned back, studying her for a long moment, then said words she would never forget, "You don't need to prove that you can balance being a mother and being a professional, Emily. You already have. I built this company on people who don't quit, who carry burdens and still move forward. And I think you might be one of the strongest candidates I've met." Tears pricked her eyes, but before she could speak, Noah looked up and said innocently, "Does that mean Mommy got the job?" The room fell silent for a beat before Harrison chuckled softly, a sound that surprised even him, and he replied, "Yes, Noah, I think it does." In that moment, the weight Emily had carried for years, the judgment, the rejections, the endless battles, lifted, replaced by something unfamiliar but precious, acceptance. She realized then that sometimes the world needed someone powerful not to shield them from their flaws but to see their worth despite them. Months later, Emily would walk into the same building again, not as a desperate applicant but as a valued member of the company, her confidence blooming, her son waving proudly at the employees who now smiled at him instead of frowning. And though life would never be without struggles, Emily carried with her the memory of that day, the day a closed door opened, not because she begged for it, but because someone finally saw her humanity, her courage, her truth. And for everyone watching her story unfold, there was a lesson stitched into the fabric of it, that kindness costs nothing but has the power to rewrite a life, that compassion in the hands of the powerful can break the chains of judgment, and that no dream is too fragile, no mother too unworthy, no child too inconvenient when humanity leads the way.